Hi friends, welcome to another marvelous video. If you are familiar with Batman, then you must be familiar with his sidekick Robin, the Boy Wonder. However, did you know there has been more than just one or two Robins? Today, we will talk about 10 of them. Let us begin, shall we? Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Dick Grayson. Starting our list is none other than the OG Robin, Dick Grayson. Making his debut in issue 38 of Detective Comics a year after Batman was introduced, Dick was the youngest member of a family of acrobats known as the Flying Graysons. When he was an 8-year-old kid, he watched a mafia leader murder his parents in order to extract money from the circus they performed for. Bruce Wayne accepted him as his legal ward after witnessing the horrific tragedy. Bruce spent 6 exhausting months training Dick in combat methods and investigative abilities. Dick eventually faced his biggest trial, the Gauntlet. This required him to elude the Dark Knight on the streets of Gotham for a whole night, from twilight to morning, with no outside help. Amazingly, Dick succeeded. Following this trial, he became Batman's trusty crime-fighting companion, taking on the identity of Robin, the Boy Wonder. Robin's origins are similar to Batman's in that they both endured the tragic loss of their parents as a result of crime, sparking a mutual ambition to confront the criminal underworld. This common experience fostered a close friendship and mutual understanding between the two superheroes. Dick resumed his escapades alongside Batman while simultaneously enrolling in college at Hudson University. During this period, Robin began to perform solo missions and realized his own potential as a crime fighter. Soon later, the enigmatic Raven summoned Dick and a few other teenage heroes to form a new team known as the Titans. Robin took on the role of the leader of this new team, breaking out of Batman's shadow and forging his own way in the world of superheroes. Following his stint as Robin, Dick took up the character of Nightwing and operated in the neighboring city of Bloodhaven. There, he carved out his own career as a hero, separate from his relationship with Batman, establishing himself as an independent and capable crime fighter. During the Final Crisis storyline, after Bruce was assumed dead, Dick even took on the mantle of Batman himself, accompanied by Bruce's son Damian as Robin. Since Dick Grayson, several individuals have worn the mantle of Robin, but none have ever matched his legendary reputation.
Ha ha ha! It feels awesome! Check me out!
Jason Todd. Jason Todd had a tragic tale. The character was never accepted as the Boy Wonder by the fans. Maybe because it was hard to see an iconic character like Dick Grayson making his exit. In the 1988 tale, Batman, A Death in the Family, DC Comics held a telephone poll to decide the character's destiny at the hands of Batman's arch-nemesis, the Joker. The character was eliminated brutally at the hands of Joker by a slim margin of 5,343 to 5,271 votes. Jason Todd had 2 origin stories, a pre-crisis and a post-crisis one. What crisis, you ask? Well, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, of course. The pre-crisis origin story was similar to that of Dick Grayson's. Jason Todd was the son of circus acrobats known as the Flying Todds, who sadly lost his parents to a villain named Killer Croc. He was, after that, adopted by Bruce Wayne. The character stood out for his red hair in contrast to Dick Grayson's black hair, and maintained an unwaveringly cheery demeanor at first, even donning his circuit outfit to combat crime. However, his course changed dramatically when Dick Grayson gifted him with his own Robin suit. Jason decided to tint his hair black and thrived under Batman's tutelage in later chapters. Following the reinvention of the Batman mythos, following Crisis on Infinite Earth, Jason Todd was presented as a teenage street orphan who encountered the Dark Knight while attempting to steal the Batmobile's tires. Bruce Wayne, impressed by Jason's potential, arranged for him to attend a school for disturbed children. Shortly later, Jason displayed his fitness to wear the Robin mantle by assisting Batman in apprehending a band of robbers. However, it took 6 months of hard training before Jason assumed the role of Robin. Following his death at the hands of the Joker, Jason Todd vanished for over 20 years until Ra's al Ghul dug up his body and used the Lazarus Pit to resuscitate him, which led to his reappearance. After years of training outside of Gotham City, Todd reappeared as the Red Hood, a character once connected to the Joker before he became the Clown Prince of Crime. This transition represented one of the Robin's darkest arcs to date. As Red Hood, Jason achieved recognition as a ruthless anti-hero. Unlike Batman, who avoided weaponry and violent means, Red Hood accepted them wholeheartedly. Despite his tough exterior, Red Hood soon found himself battling with the Bat family. While Jason Todd was originally one of DC's least popular characters as the second Robin, his transformation into the Red Hood earned him new fans.
Sorry to bust in, but we couldn't wait to spoil your fun.
Tim Drake. Tim Drake made his DC Comics debut some years after Jason Todd's tragic demise. Drake came from an affluent upbringing and possessed great intelligence as well as athleticism, similar to Bruce Wayne himself. Being an enthusiastic fan of Batman and Robin's adventures, Drake witnessed Batman slip into a more aggressive and reckless demeanor following Jason Todd's death. Realizing that Batman needed a Robin to keep everything in line, Tim decided to fill the void left by Jason's absence. He even discovered the identities of Batman and the first Robin via logical thinking and study. Since Dick Grayson was unwilling to regain the Robin mantle, Tim Drake established himself as a plausible replacement. Tim's determination and persuasive abilities convinced Batman to let him be the third Robin, thus beginning his career as Batman's loyal sidekick and protege. Tim Drake differentiated himself from the other Robins by prioritizing investigative talents above Dick Grayson's acrobatics and by being significantly more quiet than Jason Todd. But Batman gave Tim stern directions, telling him to back off and get help if he encountered infamous killers like the Joker or Two-Face. This order emphasized Batman's concern for Tim's security, especially after Jason Todd's death. Tim Drake spent several years as Robin after completing his training, working both individually and as part of the dynamic duo with Batman. He also took on leadership positions in teams like Young Justice and the Teen Titans. However, when Bruce Wayne seemed to die during the final crisis, the dynamic altered radically. Dick Grayson took over as Batman and gave the position of Robin to Bruce's son Damian Wayne rather than Tim Drake. In reaction, Tim assumed the alias Red Robin and conducted his own investigations to find any information concerning Bruce Wayne's location. As Red Robin, he set out on a global mission to stop the League of Assassins, impressing even Ra's al Ghul with his investigative abilities. He impressed the Demon's Head so highly that Ra's referred to him as a detective, a designation reserved exclusively for Batman. Tim Drake eventually returned to the role of Robin, reuniting with Batman, while Damian Wayne took his own path as Robin. This phase demonstrated Tim's tenacity and versatility as he negotiated the evolving terrain of Gotham's vigilante scene. Stephanie Brown. There was quite a buzz in the Batman world when Stephanie Brown temporarily took up the mantle of Robin, thus becoming the first female Robin of Gotham City. Stephanie Brown was born to the Clue Master, a lesser-known criminal from Gotham City's Rogues Gallery. Her youth was distinguished by her father's repeated incarceration, leaving her to negotiate life largely alone. Stephanie was driven to intervene when her father returned to Gotham, claiming to have been rehabilitated, but actually reverting to his nefarious ways without leaving any signs. She created a costume for herself and took up the title of the Spoiler. After that, Stephanie interfered to foil her father's malicious plans, leaving clues for law enforcement and Batman to follow. During one of these encounters, Tim Drake as Robin crossed paths with her, sparking their partnership in apprehending the Clue Master. Oh yeah, she also became attracted to the young boy Wonder, and the two temporarily became a hot couple. Once his father found out he was Robin, Tim was compelled to give up his career as a crime fighter and lead a normal life. One day after seeing Tim with another female, Stephanie abruptly stopped their relationship because she suspected he was cheating on her. Stephanie was determined to prove herself, so she made a homemade Robin outfit, broke into the Batcave, and demanded that Batman train her. Batman put her through months of hard training and outfitted her with a Robin costume similar to Tim's. Unfortunately, Stephanie's time as Robin was cut short when she had a near-fatal encounter with the villain Black Mask. In reality, Batman's ally, Dr. Leslie Tompkins, got worried for Stephanie's safety and staged her death to remove her from the violent world of Batman. Stephanie eventually returned to Gotham and pursued a new path as she took on the mantle of Batgirl to stay dedicated to her battle for justice. Damian Wayne. It's time to talk about the current Robin, Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne was the biological son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, who was the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. Initially, Bruce Wayne wasn't prepared for Damian to enter his life at all. No. Talia al Ghul and the League of Assassins had raised Damian in secret. Eventually, Talia exposed Damian's existence to Bruce and left him with the Dark Knight, perhaps to interfere with his attempts to fight crime. Damian initially disputed with Tim Drake as he considered himself to be the legitimate successor to the Robin mantle. He finally did become Robin, albeit under odd circumstances. During the Batman Rip storyline, while Bruce was thought to be dead, Dick Grayson took over as Batman and Damian became his Robin. Due to the League of Assassins' upbringing, Damian developed a strict outlook and a disdain for conventional morality. He was pretty hostile and had a strong sense of arrogance. Even when Bruce Wayne returned, Damian continued to battle as Robin alongside his father. He finally left the Bat family to follow his own path. Despite this, Damian clung to the Robin mantle, feeling it was his birthright as Batman's successor. Despite Damian's current chronology as Robin, fans saw a different Damian in Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert's Batman of Babylon storyline. In this narrative, Damian took over as Batman in this dystopian version of Gotham following the passing of Dick Grayson and a falling out with Bruce. Damian accepted his father's heritage in contrast to the other Robins who forged their own roots. But his portrayal of Batman was a reflection of his own brutality. He used techniques that Bruce would never approve of. Carrie Kelley. Carrie Kelley was introduced in Frank Miller's iconic comic series, The Dark Knight Returns. Carrie Kelley belonged on Earth 31, where she was a 13-year-old schoolgirl and Girl Scout. One evening, she was attacked by muggers but was rescued by the seasoned, older Batman on his first night out of retirement. Inspired by her meeting, Carrie spent her lunch money on a Robin costume and set out to seek down minor offenders, equipped with a slingshot laden with firecrackers. After rescuing Batman from a terrible confrontation with a mutant gang, he officially welcomed her onto his team. Carrie Kelley, as Batman's new Robin, supported him in stopping iconic villains like the Joker before their last encounter with Superman. Carrie also persuaded Batman to change his techniques for safeguarding Gotham City. She was pretty useful as a Robin. Being an expert acrobat and adept in hand-to-hand fighting, Carrie exhibited her abilities in a variety of settings, including providing first aid. She also demonstrated fast thinking and ingenuity during difficult confrontations, just like other Robins and Batman himself. Apart from her identity as Robin, Carrie explored many personas like Catgirl, Batgirl, and even Batwoman, exhibiting incredible adaptability and outshining numerous previous Robins in the mainstream DC universe concerning diversity. Duke Thomas. Duke and Bruce Wayne met for the first time during the Zero Year storyline when the Thomas family rescued the unconscious billionaire during Hurricane Renee's devastation in Gotham. Years later, when the Joker returned to Gotham with a diabolical scheme targeted at Batman, he abducted Duke and his family, intending to replicate Bruce Wayne's parents' terrible murders before his eyes using the Thomas family. Batman intervened to save Duke, but the Joker's mind-controlling toxin apparently killed Duke's parents. Although Bruce Wayne never formally offered Duke the title of Robin, the choice was made by the Batcave's next highest authority. Yes, you're right, it's Alfred. Following the tragic conclusion of the Endgame plot, in which Duke lost his parents, he went to the streets as an independent operator. Alfred secretly outfitted Duke with a red armored jacket with a yellow R insignia on the breast, as well as providing him with a powerful motorbike. Duke joined a group of outstanding young people chosen by Alfred to address street-level concerns in Gotham. However, Alfred's attempt met with obstacles, and the police outlawed all Robins. Despite having abandoned his Robin costume, Duke continued to assist Bruce Wayne in rescuing the city from Mr. Bloom throughout the Super Heavy storyline. After resuming his duties as Batman after a period of memory loss, Bruce Wayne offered Duke the position of his new apprentice. Duke agreed on the condition that he would not become merely another Robin. In agreement, Batman gave him a yellow outfit and pledged to tutor him in a different way. Thus, Duke became known as the Signal, a unique identity given to him by Batman that set him apart from all other Robins. Duke, inspired by the city's signal that notified Batman and created fear in criminals, worked as Batman's agent throughout the day. His job as the Signal grew even more important when he found latent photokinetic talents that affected his senses and enabled him to become invisible. Duke's powers made him perhaps more resourceful than any of the Robins who had formerly supported Batman. Duke stands out as the only Robin with true superpowers.
You should use your full name. I like that name. Robin.
Thanks.
John Blake. The actor known as Joseph Gordon-Levitt portrays the role of John Blake in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. Blake was a Gotham City Police Department detective who developed a close bond with Batman throughout Bane's terror campaign. Like Bruce Wayne, Blake experienced the early loss of both of his parents. Unexpectedly, in the end, it is discovered that Blake's real name is Robin. After Batman appears to have died at the end of the movie, Wayne gives Blake the Batcave's whereabouts. This suggests that Wayne hoped Blake would continue to protect Gotham. Although the identity of Robin is never used for Blake, his position as Batman's successor is implied by the disclosure of his legal identity and his connection to the Batcave. Blake's portrayal of the Boy Wonder stood apart from other interpretations since it did not have the gaudy outfit and mask that are usually associated with Robin. Furthermore, he was never acknowledged as Batman's sidekick directly. However, he turned out to be an extremely skilled law enforcement agent who, together with Gordon and Batman, was crucial in foiling Bane's plans. If only Nolan makes another installment, I am sure we will see Blake as some version of the Boy Wonder, keeping my fingers crossed. Lance Bruner. Lance Bruner was an orphan who briefly assumed the identity of Robin to aid Batman. When Lance's father died, Bruce Wayne became Lance's legal guardian, honoring his father's commitment to care for him if required. Lance was initially difficult, engaging in delinquent behavior that may have resulted in juvenile incarceration. As the conflicts between Lance and Bruce grew, Bruce decided that he would have to hand him over to the juvenile detention facility. But since Lance talked about his rough childhood and being deprived of father figures, Bruce had to reconsider. Unfortunately, Lance's negative attitude towards Bruce made him seek revenge. After discovering the Batcave and learning the identity of Batman, Lance made a deal with criminal Grantland Stark to provide intel on Batman's and Robin's location in exchange for payment. After Robin was shot during a fight with Stark, Lance realized the repercussions of his actions and tried to make amends by dressing as Robin and going up against Stark. Sadly, Lance passed away in Batman's arms from a gunshot wound. In his last moments, Lance apologized for his errors and tried to make amends with Batman. Batman learned a painful lesson from Lance's death about the boundaries of forgiveness, and as a result, he built a memorial for him in the garden outside Wayne Manor. Drake Winston. In Sam Hamm and Joe Quinones' comic series Batman '89, a reinvented version of Robin called Drake Winston appears. This character is inspired by Marlon Wayans, who was originally supposed to be cast as Robin in Batman Returns and Batman Forever before the role went to Chris O'Donnell. Drake Winston is descended from a renowned family who formerly ran an automobile firm. However, once their firm was acquired by Wayne Motors, Drake found himself homeless. He got a job as a mechanic at the Royal Auto Body and was given a spare room above the shop by Jerome Otis. The character lived in Burnside and committed himself to safeguarding the city's poor citizens and combating violence in the neighborhood. He had several confrontations with Batman before eventually teaming up with him to help defeat Two-Face. Drake will reprise his role as Robin in the sequel series Batman '89 Echoes. Marvelous verdict. That brings us to the end of this marvelous video. The many iterations and reinventions of Robin during the Batman franchise developed the reputation of the character as one who is able to change with the times and remain popular. Starting with Dick Grayson's groundbreaking portrayal in the role of the original character that would go on to become a legend, and lesser-known counterparts like Duke Thomas and Drake Winston, each iteration brings fresh views and a unique contribution to the ties between Batman and his sidekicks. As the Batman world keeps on developing, Robin's legacy expands as well, guaranteeing that the famed sidekick will be a significant part of the Caped Crusader's image for a very long time. Who is your favorite Robin? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with all your buddies. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!